Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash. Number one is to the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations unto the elect of the nation of Israel. This is your brother Hayash Gabar from the GMS Virginia camp coming at you with another lesson that I pray that you find edifying through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And this is an article that I was reading off of shithitthefanplan.com, and the title of it reads, "The stage is being set for the biggest war in human history." And this will be the biggest war in human history, in that it will involve all nations, as well as, the Lord bringing in, the angels of heaven, to destroy Babylon the Great. So, yeah, a lot of people are very much aware of the fact that, we are definitely in the times where, things are about to get very serious, very quick. And a lot of people are preparing on levels that they've never prepared for before. Yeah, people have prepared for tornadoes and storms and earthquake. Well, try to prepare for earthquakes and storms and stuff like that. But nonetheless, a person can prepare for, in particular things that he or she may want and or need. Well, in the times that are coming, there's no way for anyone to prepare for anything, unless Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai be with you. Anything that you prepare for is just vanity, at the end of the day. And we're definitely in those times. So this is a pretty interesting article that I'm gonna get into, because it shows that a lot of people are aware of the times that we're in, but yet there's nothing that they can ultimately do about it, because it's not in their hands. It's in the hands of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. So this was dated June 21st, 2024, and it reads, "Most people don't realize this, but all of our lives are about to change," and they are very much aware of these things. They are very much aware that their lives are about to change, but they don't understand how bad it's going to change. Nothing is going to get better. Things are in fact getting worse. It's almost like, that frog in a boiling pot of water. He doesn't realize how hot he is, and until it's too late. At that point, he's cooking from the inside out. Most people don't realize this, but all of our lives are about to change. We are moving into a time of global war, and again, they don't understand how bad it's going to get. We are moving into a time of global war, and the death and destruction that we will witness will be off the charts. World War I was supposed to be the war that ends all wars, and it resulted in approximately 20 million deaths. It was a truly nightmarish conflict, and those living at that time thought that we would never see anything like it again. But then World War II erupted, and it resulted in approximately 75 million deaths. Sadly, global leaders seem to have forgotten the lessons of World War II. No, they didn't forget the lessons of World War II, which is why they're constantly pushing for the escalation of World War III. And with that, let me break out a scripture, because, this devil is very much aware of what he's doing, because he's about to bring about a system, whereas he needs conflict to go about. He needs the people to not understand what's going on. this devil needs anarchy, and in that, he's gonna get a lot of people caught up. Um, the the book of Second Corinthians. Hold on, let me grab that right here. The book of Second Corinthians, chapter 2 and verse 11. Least Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Yeah, we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. The elites know very well what they're planning on doing, and they know very well what they are doing. The thing is, a lot of you people don't know what the elites are doing until, at some point, for a lot of you Jakes specifically, it's going to be too late. And it reads, sadly, global leaders seem to have forgotten the lessons of World War II. And these global leaders work for the elite, period, point blank. You know what I'm saying? They work for the bankers, because now the stage is being set for the biggest war in human history so far. During World War III, billions of people could die, and that's exactly what they want. They want a depopulation of the earth so that they can have more control of the people living in it. Unfortunately, it appears that there will be no turning back now, and there won't be any turning back. You know what I'm saying? Because the stage is being set by Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, to bring about these things, and the people don't understand how prophetic this is. The people just don't or can't grasp that we are in the time of the end, and it doesn't mean the end of the planet Earth or anything like that. No, it just means the end of a rulership, the end of an era, and in that, I'm gonna grab another scripture. Salak is going to be the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, and verse number 45. And it reads, therefore hear ye the counsel of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, that he have taken against Babylon, and his purposes, that he has proposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And the least of the flock is dealing with those people who are over there in the Holy Land now. Those people are going to pull Babylon the Great into a war. You know what I'm saying? And if you've been paying attention to the news, everything, well, I can't say everything has been trying to be done, but a lot of things have been trying to get done from the political standpoint on this end to not go into a full-blown escalation of war. Babylon the Great, on the other hand, really don't want to deal with, Russia at this point, but those people who are over there in the Holy Land are dragging Babylon into that war. You know what I'm saying? It's because once those people go into the war with Iran, and then Iran, once those people over there in the Holy Land go into war with Iran, and then Iran is going to need help because Babylon the Great's going to want to get involved, and at that point, Russia's going to have to jump in because Iran and Gog and Magog, or Gog, are like allies with each other. So a lot is going on. A lot of stages are being set, a lot of treaties are being developed, and a lot of cooperations with other nations, outside of Babylon the Great, and those people over there in the Holy Land are being set up. Here it is. Like you got these African nations telling these Europeans to get the hell out of their land, particularly the French, and those people who are also over there in the Holy Land who try to maintain their grasp, over there in the lands of Africa. And don't get it twisted, even Babylon the Great has got bases over there in Africa, and those Hamites are telling these European nations as well as the West, get the hell out of our land. We don't want you here. In fact, we don't want you here so much that we're asking Russia to be our defense. So all of these things are happening, which are all prophetic, that's going to take place, you know. And a lot of people just don't realize how deep this rabbit hole is going to go, nor how deep the death toll is going to get. Unfortunately, it appears that there would be no turning back now. It is my personal opinion. No, I hold on. It is my personal opinion that the war in the Middle East will be the first conflict to rise to an apocalyptic level. Because the least of the flock is going to draw them out. What's happening over there in the Middle East isn't happening by happenstance. It's happening through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, because we are definitely in the time of the end, and we are definitely in the times. It's a lot. We're definitely in the times of the end, and we're definitely in the times where, one kingdom is going to be put down and another kingdom is going to be built up. And that's the kingdom of Yasharallah. So, reading on Wednesday, Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant warned the media that he feels that there is an obligation to change the situation in the north. Here it is, he feels as though we should get involved. Israeli officials on Wednesday escalated threats against Lebanon's Hezbollah amidst escalating cross-border exchange of fire between the two sides. We are completing the land and air preparedness, strengthening the intelligence systems, and preparing for any possibility. The Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant told the press before the military told the press before meeting with the military chief Herzi Halev, I don't know how to pronounce their names, a senior senior commanders in the North Command headquarters in the city of Safed. We have an obligation to change the situation in the north, he stressed. So here it is, they're pushing for war with Iran. They're pushing for an escalation to happen, because an escalation needs to happen. Because when you really sit back and you think about the situations that's going on, all of these wars have been or a lot of these wars have been due to money. A lot of these wars have been due to other nations wanting to pull away from the petrodollar. And what you just saw last week with Saudi Arabia, the American dollar is dead. The American dollar is dead, and the bankers have got to do something to bring in money. And I don't know if brothers forgot or whatever, but a few years ago, they just found out that over there in Gaza and off the coast of Israel, they had one of the largest oil findings as of lately. So it's all about oil. It's all about, okay, Saudi Arabia don't want to deal in the petrodollar, then now we need to move in and grab this oil that needs to be pulled up from the ground from these people who are living in the land. We got to get them out. Because I don't know, also, if you notice, is as soon as they started getting these people out of the land, I'm talking about those Philistines, the minute they started getting them out of the land, they started building piers and docks. What for? To drill for that oil. So a lot's going on, and a lot of people just need to be aware of what's going on, because inevitably it's going to end up over here in Babylon the Great. And it reads on. In other words, Gallant fully intends to push Hezbollah back so that approximately 100,000 Israeli citizens can safely return to their homes in northern Israel. Another Israeli official has issued an even more ominous warning. Meanwhile, the Israeli Ynet news site reported that an anonymous senior Israeli government official told the news outlet that if Hezbollah continues to attack Israel, southern Lebanon will look like Gaza. Beirut will not be immune. So here it is, this devil's just causing trouble all over the place. He's already had enemies, but now he's having his enemies start to rise up against him. Yeah, Khan, and those are very strong words. So inevitably all of these things are going to happen. And, Babylon the Great, is going to be drawn into this situation. Babylon the Great is going to be in the middle of all of this. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, verse 37. A sword is upon her horses and upon their chariots and upon all the mingled people that are in the midst. Okay, yeah, you know what I'm saying? That sword is, those nuclear ICBM missiles that's going to bomb Babylon the Great, because ultimately that's where this is headed. The least of the flock is going to join Babylon the Great in against Gog and Magog, as well as these other nations that used to be at peace with her, and that her being Babylon the Great is also going to fire missiles upon this place. All because of how wicked this place has been, and also how what's what I'm looking for? How they have dealt with these other nations. They have dealt with these other nations deceitfully, to the point now where these other nations are starting to realize, well, hold on one second. I don't want to get involved with this fucking war. I'm doing business with China and Russia. I don't want to go to war with these people. We don't have enough men. We don't have enough men. But, again, all of this is the will and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And they shall become as women. And the mighty men of Babylon the Great have become as women. You got a lot of these Gen Zers that don't want to go to war. They don't want anything to do with these up-and-coming calamities that, the least of the flock is drawn, this place into. You have a lot of these Gen Zers as well as a few of these Gen Xers saying, nah, fuck that. I ain't going to war for them. They ain't do nothing to me. So there's going to be a level of resistance, of people going to war. Because even the mighty men who went to war before started to realize that what they fought for was bullshit. What they fought for, they don't reap the benefits of it. All of this money and all of this gold and, all of this stuff went straight over into the elites. So there's going to be a huge resistance when, the people are told that your child is going to have to go to war to fight for these bankers. There's going to be a pushback on a lot of this stuff that, these devils are trying to make happen. A sword is upon her treasures. And trust me, Babylon the Great is going to be, what's the word? Babylon the Great is going to be booty, to a lot of these nations, because at some point, Babylon the Great is going to realize that it fucked up, and these nations are just going to rob this place, and they've been robbing this place, They come here, they do business, but, they send their money back, They buy the goods here, this, that, or the other, but they mail it back, So on a low level, it's a form of robbery if you want to look at it that way. But ultimately, this place is just going to be robbed and spoiled. This place is going to ultimately cease to exist. Reading on with the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50 and verse 37, and they shall be robbed. This place is going to be taken for all that it's got until there's nothing else. So, this is a very informative article. that, like the brothers want to read deeper into it, you know, it's on shithitthefanplan.com, you know what I'm saying? I just wanted to bring this out because we're definitely in those times where war is being spoken about more and more. Nuclear staging is being discussed more and more. And, the people are sitting back and looking at what's going on, but they just don't realize how bad it's going to get. They don't understand the escalation and the anger of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai and how these things are going to happen quicker, and quicker, and it's going to get to the point where, these people are just going to be confounded, because all it takes is one event, for shit to pop off over here in Babylon the Great, and these people just lose it. What's so much more of that in the world, And so with that, I'd like to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Makakwadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone who woo well, peace, and salutations unto the elected, the nation of Israel. Shalom.